In this video, I'm going to talk about the things you need to know if you are to pick up an ROG Ally, because it's not as simple as you think it is, but it's also not as complicated as you might think it is either. So let's go ahead and talk about it in this video. Hello and welcome everyone. I'm Mikhail Casanova, Hawaii content creator here, and we're going to be talking about the ROG Ally and what I think you need to know if you were to pick this up today, if you were to go to Best Buy and pick it up or order it from ROG's website. This device is absolutely phenomenal, but there are things that a casual user may not be ready for because they may expect this to either be a Nintendo Switch type of device where it's literally you pop in your card, your micro SD card, I think you download your game and then that's it. And it's not that simple, but also it's not that complicated either. So today I want to talk about what you need to know going into it for casual. Now, before we do all that, if you enjoy the content I put out, make sure you like the video, sub to the channel if you haven't already, ding the notification bell. That way you stay up to date on all the content that we put out. And if you want to pick up some games for Steam and various other platforms, or if you want to pick up accessories for this, the Steam Deck, and just portable gaming PCs in general, I'll leave links to everything down below. They're affiliate links, so you guys don't get any additional charge, but if you pick up anything using the links, I get a little kickback that helps out the channel overall. So just so you know, that's what that's for. All right, and all the stuff that YouTube wants, like, share, comment, subscribe, all that good stuff. So let's go ahead and get into talking about this. Things you need to know if you are a new user or casual user, well, new and casual, for the ROG Ally. First thing you want to know, this is a full computer. It is not like the Nintendo Switch outside of form factor. This has Windows 11 Home. So think of it like this. If you got a gaming laptop or you got a regular Windows 11 laptop or desktop, it's this basically this is just that in a gaming handheld form factor. So that means you're gonna have to do your Windows updates. You're gonna have to do updates via the Armory Crate, which is Armory Crate SE is specific for this, and that's from ASUS. And you're also going to have to go to the My ASUS app to do updates. Now, a lot of people have picked this up and they don't realize that they need to do all that. And also, not only that, but when they first get it, a lot of people are taken aback by how long it takes to get set up. And it's because when you first set this up, you're going to have to make sure you connect your Windows account to it. Once you connect your Windows account, then it's going to want to do all the initializations it needs to do, plus download all the updates, which will be all the Windows cumulative updates. And then you've also got the updates for the BIOS and everything via My ASUS, which is also probably going to include not only the BIOS, but the Wi-Fi card and various other things for the ROG Ally. And then the Armory Crate has other specific things too for that software and overlay that it has. So you need to remember there are three things you're going to need to update: My ASUS, Armory Crate SE, and Windows 11. So if you can remember to do all that, then that's the biggest hurdle you're going to have to get over. Outside of that, the main thing you're going to need to do if you want to play your games is you're going to need to download launchers. And in this case, you're going to need to download, Steam, battle.net, Ubisoft's app, which is was it Ubisoft Connect, the EA launcher, which is like EA Origin, or I forgot they renamed that, but it used to be called EA Origin or just Origin. So you're gonna need to get that, and GOG, Epic Game Store, and if there's anything else that's not listed, then you can also install it because this is a full feature computer. So what you're gonna need to do, and the bulk of this, you can literally go to Armory Crate SE, go to your settings, and it'll allow you to see launchers that you can download. Once you download them, you log in, you can add them to the Armory Crate SE overlay. But if you don't want to do that, you can just go to your apps. You can pin them, put them to your desktop, and that's all you need to do. And, after that, sign into the account, select the game, download it, or purchase a game, and go from there. Those are things you're going to need to know how to do because, again, this is not like the Switch. Too many people think that, well, this is just like the Switch. It is not like the Switch. It's a fully featured computer, palm of your hand. And also, that's another thing that you're going to need to know. if you have a docking setup, right? If you've got a, say, a JSOX dock, or you got the one that comes that you can purchase from ASUS that allows you to, plug it into the wall, also use it as a docking station, and or if you want to connect it to, like a Thunderbolt hub or a USB-C hub and have multifaceted outputs, you can do that with this. You can connect it to multiple monitors. You can connect it and use this with the XG Mobile, which is allows you to put a graphics card in it. Some already come with it. You can have like a 4090, a 3080, a 3090, whatever. Like, or if you want a specific, AMD graphics card, you can have that too. So that allows you to use this more like a gaming desktop that's souped up. So because of that, this could be literally your only device that you use. Now, a lot of people probably wouldn't recommend that, because when you go down that route, it's like 1,500 to 2,000 for the XG Mobile. So you're going to be spending a pretty penny for that. But for those who got disposable income, I mean, why not? You could literally do a dual PC setup with this. And I wouldn't knock you for wanting to do that. That the versatility of this, like this, I can use this connected to my monitors, connect, my keyboard, mouse, and everything like that. And I can use it as a full feature computer. I can also connect it to my laptop, which I'll show you guys that too. I connect that and I can use this kind of like a quasi laptop in a way. So, the versatility of this, if I'm traveling, I'm going to take this and probably a lap dock and a stand and a dock, and that's it. Keyboard and mouse, take that with me. And this is my full workstation. I can create content on it, I can game on it, I can do all that. Since I don't like to tinker, I'm not going to tinker with it, but like there's so much you can do with it because it's Windows 11. But that's stuff you guys should know. Like, you can do a lot with this. And I figured I'd talk about that. Other things you need to know when it comes to micro SD cards. Now, this can take up to a 2 terabyte micro SD card, but right now the highest capacity is about a 1.5 terabyte micro SD card. But the most common people are going to pick up is either 512 or 1 terabyte. You can get either of those. Those are easy to come by. Walk into a Best Buy and buy them at Walmart, Target, what have you. They're available, especially on Amazon, which usually has the best deals. You know. So what I'm gonna recommend, you can use the A1 cards, which are they're slower than what an A2 V30 card is. And if you really don't know the details about the differences in cards, here's the long and short of it. If the micro SD card says A1 or has a big A and a 1 next to it, that means it's going to have a slower read time and a slower write time. That's going to be important. So if you set the micro SD card, you set that up as the default location for downloading your games, or if you just want to download stuff directly to that instead, because it's an A1 card, it's going to be very slow. And you're going to be waiting a while for games and programs to install on that card because it's a slower speed. But if you get something that says A2 and probably has V30 on it, you're going to have much faster read and write times. They will not be as fast as the internal M.2 SSD on here, but they'll be good enough. So the benefit of getting an A2 card, 512, 128, 256, 64 if you want to be on the cheap end, or 1 terabyte, is it allows you to play the AAA games with little to no performance issues. So if you want to play something like Jedi Survivor, Cyberpunk 2077, Witcher, or anything that's going to be constantly pulling resources, the A2 cards are good for that. I still recommend very intensive games to be on the micro SD. Well, not the micro SD, but the M.2 SSD that's on here, because that would run it perfectly. That speed is great. And that also brings up another thing. If you're someone who isn't satisfied with the 512 gigs that are currently on this, and then when you take into account like Windows and all the updates, you probably got closer to like 450 to 390 of storage. if you're not satisfied with that, you can easily unscrew the 6 points where the screws are in the back, pop it off, and if you buy a 1 terabyte or 2 terabyte M.2 SSD, then you will be able to download remotely. Like you go into the BIOS, like when you pop it in, you can either clone the current one that's installed on it, or if you put a new one in and you turn it on, it'll go to the BIOS of the computer for this device, and you can just do a remote install. And they'll probably take you anywhere from like half an hour up to like maybe an hour or two, depending on your internet speeds. And it's way simpler than Steam Deck. So, if you want more storage, I'm probably going to do that. I know I said I don't want to tinker, but that's something I want to do. I want more storage. It's because I'm the type, I know a lot of people are like, why you need to have so much storage? You can just, you done the game, delete it and download something else. And it's because of time. I just don't have a lot of time and I don't want to wait around for it. I want to just be able to go to the game and just start playing it. So if you want to do that, it's completely easy. I'm probably going to pick up in the next couple of weeks the 2 terabyte drive, M.2 SSD, and it's I believe it's a 2230 is the one that people recommend. If I'm and off the top of my head, I'm probably incorrect on that, but I will show you here one that is you should pick up for it. So that's something else you should also know if you're going to pick this up. And outside of that, as far as accessories, I know a lot of people complain about the lack of accessories for this device, or they don't like the white and they want a different color or they want cases. Now, there are cases out there. Spigen has some. There are a bunch of third-party ones on Amazon that have been out. And as far as skins, got skins coming down the road for this device. And screen protectors have gotten better. You can get them from Dbrand, get them off of Amazon. I'll recommend you guys some as well. Docks, if you see it and it's for the Steam Deck, 9 times out of 10 it's going to work here. There are certain ones that don't fit perfectly that I wouldn't recommend for this, and they're not that many. I think there's like one. I think I had it somewhere over here, but that's a dock that I don't recommend. But the typical, if it's from JSOX, you can get it. U Green, any accessories like that. From the bulk of the sellers on Amazon, you're going to be fine with it. Main thing you want to look out for if you're going to get a dock or a docking solution is make sure it can do 4K 60. Now, this with the XG Mobile can output 4K 60, but as it is natively, you just want to stick to 720 or at most 1080p, which is what the screen could put out. So 1080p, 60 hertz, majority of the games, the bulk of games will run at that. Older games can run it probably higher. Some newer games can do the 1080p 120 hertz at this because this has a VRR screen with 120 hertz. But for the most part, 720 to 1080p is what you're going to run games at on this. And if you get a dock, just make sure it's not a 4K 30, it's a 4K 60. Because if it's 4K 30, odds are it's not going to be able to do 1080 30 or 1080 60, but it'll do 1080 30. And so if you're going to spend the money wisely and get a device that can do 4K 60. So yeah, plenty of accessories out. I got links in the description down below and in the video description that will let you know what all accessories I personally recommend. And that's just about it. For me, the last and biggest thing is just familiarize yourself with Windows. I know a lot of people probably aren't the most technical savvy, and you don't really have to be. But I can understand Windows could be daunting for some people if you're coming from Mac or if you're just not tech savvy, period. It can be a little daunting, but the main thing you just need to know, I'll go over it again, update 3 areas. Go to your settings on Windows, do Windows updates, check for that, check for optional updates if you really want to, but main thing is primary updates for Windows, primary updates for Armory Crate SE, and also make sure you're doing updates for my ASUS, which typically has updates for the Wi-Fi card, Bluetooth, and the BIOS, and just the overall experience. So you want to do that. And then Outside of that, everything else is just understanding and playing around with and getting used to your new device. Now, if there's anything I didn't cover or any questions you have about the ROG Ally, please let me know in the comment section down below, and we'll definitely touch on that. But other than that, I hope this video was helpful and informative. I hope you gained something from it. If you did, do us a solid, like the video, sub if you haven't already, and share it around with someone you think can enjoy it. And outside of that, I'll catch you guys on the next one. Stay safe, be blessed, and I'll see you around. Peace.